Alright, welcome to Razorcast, brought to you by Razor Metal Reviews. I'm Chris.
I'm also Chris.
So, nothing's changed, so we're still good.
I haven't changed. No, yeah, I'm not going to say it, but no.
But, after our night out, how were you?
Rough. Really, really rough.
See, this new lifestyle is going to be...
I think the next time we go to a gig to try and review it, I need to have 8 less beers.
And 1 less Marmite vodka.
Yeah, that was rank. That was really rank. I'm not doing that again.
But that was cool hanging out with Nervous.
Yeah, it was. They're cool guys, I must admit.
Yeah. But no shout out to the band. They were awesome. And then so were Fan Club.
Yeah,
What a
I
great
really
night
like
there.
them. Really like them. Real new discovery. I didn't know about them beforehand. So,
I've had a chat with them on their Instagram page, and
cool.
they're coming to Southampton in May.
Ah, sweet.
So they want us to meet up with them. So.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be good. Definitely go along to that.
Yeah, and Milk Teeth, what a fucking...
Epic as usual. They're fucking great, aren't they?
Just pissing, and yeah, I don't think anybody was stood still.
No, it was great. It was a really good night.
But no, so on today we're going to be doing Headbanger.
Yeah, first one.
To say that we've been excited for this, haven't we?
Yes, I've been buzzing, I must admit.
Yeah, it's been great. So we were on our night out, we were trying to think of something to do for the category. So we've just come up with the best album that, in our opinion, of the 90's.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to do is we'll both tell you our albums, and we'll talk to you guys about categories. So we've got 8 categories. We've got from artwork to consistency, shredding, vocals, lyrics, influence, rhythm.
Yeah.
So it just goes through. And what we'll do is we're going to pick 3 categories out of a hat. So seeing as it's best of the 90's, I've got a Slash hat here. It's only fitting.
Nice pun as well.
Yeah. So so we'll pick out 3 categories. What we'll do is we'll flip a coin to see who goes first, and we'll go from there.
Cool.
So you'll shout then, sir.
Tails never fails.
You're right. It never fails.
Yeah.
So you choose first.
Okay. So I'll introduce my album first.
Yeah. Go for it.
So I have chosen as my album from the 90's, I've chosen Pantera's Far Beyond Driven.
Good.
Bit of background, this is their, madly enough, this is their 7th album.
7th?
7th album,
wow.
Yeah. Obviously...
Is that including their glam rock days?
That includes the glam rock days. So this is massively different to the first few. But this was actually their first #1 on the American Billboard chart,
wow.
This album, and since...
Before that was what? Cowboy from Hell?
Vulgar Display of Power was the album before this. So yeah, a bit mad to think that didn't get to #1, but this finally got them to #1.
Yeah.
Has since gone platinum.
Sweet.
Yeah, and this was produced by Terry Date, who has obviously worked with the likes of Slipknot and God knows who else. So yeah, that is my album. That's what I've chosen.
Album. So I've gone for probably more predictable from me is Metallica's self-titled album. Or better known as the Black Album. So, to me, that is the hands down best album of the 90's. It has gone platinum. I don't know how many times now.
Yeah,
I wouldn't too many. And I think really that came to being like the metal album for radio rock and radio metal, sort of really introducing people to the metal sort of side of things. And this is what their 5th album?
5th, yeah.
5th, yeah. So, yeah.
So I am arguing the point for the little man.
You're going for the underground.
For the underdog, yeah. It sounds odd to call Pantera the underdog in most things. But in this particular fight, they might be. Although I am going to argue the shit out of every point.
This is going to be bloody as hell.
Yeah, I fucking love this album.
I can't argue. It's a great album. It is great. But as soon as you flipped, you can pick first.
I'll pick the category. As you can hear, the Hat of Justice. And first category is... Oh, this feels like FIFA. Feels like I'm doing the FIFA, the World Cup draw.
Oh, your World Cup draw.
Yeah. And the first category is Brazil. Get in there. Oh, no. Is shredding.
Oh.
Yes.
So, we debated this one earlier. We said, what, Dimebag versus Hammett?
Dimebag versus Hammett. The Battle of Titans.
Oh man, well, go ahead, sir. This is you.
This is okay. So me. Well, obviously, Dimebag Darrell, as we all know and love and miss.
Yeah.
I mean, when I sort of sat down to think about this, I thought the thing that sprung to mind was personality. I mean,
oh god, there's tons of that.
I can't think of another guitarist from this generation who had as much personality as Dime.
Oh god, he is like one of the possibly most iconic people.
Exactly, he is.
Yeah.
Just from the look of the guitar, from his look and the look of the guitars, down to his playing style.
See, now this I can argue with Kurt, because the designs of his guitars back in the day, with Frankenstein on and everything, and then to his look, you know, very sort of scrawny, sort of geeky guy. But yeah, no, it's just both of them. I can argue for, you know,
and we will,
but this is it. So, but I can't argue with the fact that Dimebag had his own range of guitars, the Ding guitars. Yeah, you know, possibly the most iconic. And I know everybody when I was younger wanted one.
Oh, everyone wanted. Yeah. The Razorback. Everyone wanted.
Everybody wanted it.
So fucking cool.
Oh, it is.
It's just the most metal-looking thing on the planet, and it is.
Oh, it is. Oh my god, it's like so over the top.
Yeah, I mean, it's up there with Kerry King's. It's probably, I mean, Kerry King's BC Rich, and like, you know, they're both so iconic. But Dime himself, interestingly, this is the first album that he actually calls himself Dimebag on it.
Really?
Before that, he was still, even Vulgar Display of Power, he was still using the Diamond Darrell.
Oh, Diamond Darrell, yeah.
And actually, I think the change of name really represents this album.
Yeah.
This album itself, I mean, obviously they changed their sound massively from their glam rock.
Oh my god, massive.
This album is so grungy and so sludgy. I tell you what, when I
listened back to it, it is just all sludge and it's filth.
Yeah, it is.
There's absolutely filthy album.
There are some dirty riffs on this album.
Oh my god, yes.
And actually, this is the first time that the guitars on this album are actually down tuned again.
See, now here's another fact. Kurt Hammett had to change all of his guitar tones because he was used to playing, I think it was in an E, and then they played in and then they started playing in a drop D.
Yeah,
and that just changed everything for Metallica because, you know, on the Black Album they completely changed their sound. It wasn't clean anymore. It was it had chug. It was you know, proper groove. It was, you know, I think in a lot of ways you could say it was a bit more filthy.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't say massively so because it was very radio ready. But in the sense of when you listen to it and you listen to the chuggers of when. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know.
I'm just spunking over the album still.
I totally understand. Obviously, Pantera, like Dimebag, would famously coined the Texas tuning.
Yeah.
That they used on other records, which is sort of, it's drop D, but then they drop it another half step, so you get that kind of off kilter thing. But like some of the tunes in this are drop C, and I think it really fits this album. Like his guitar work on this album is fucking great.
Yeah. By far.
It's so groovy. There's so much groove, and I know that sounds completely.
Yeah, but this is what I've got written down for me. You know, there's a lot of groove as well on the Metallica album. Most, you know, Don't Tread on Me, of Wolf and Man.
Yeah.
You know, that they are groove songs. You know.
Yeah.
And when you look back on the fact that when you add a groove into a tune, it gives it so much more structure. You know, because when you just chug in, it's just one rhythm. Add groove into it and it gives it a whole new sort of sound and a whole new sort of meaning.
Yeah, totally. And I'm going to argue the point that Dimebag is the best potentially of all time at doing that. Hit the way, particularly on this album, the way his riffs, there's so much groove but there's so much chug on them, and it's the stop start of it. Like, one of the greatest things about Dimebag and his guitar style, and it's totally personal to Dimebag, it's not just the genius of it is not the notes he's playing a lot of the time. It's the notes he stops. It's the notes he stops playing. He doesn't play.
Yeah.
That just give everything this massive kick. It's like those riffs are just like a mule just booting you. I mean, it
just stops you straight in your tracks.
If somebody can listen to 5 Minutes Alone and they cannot, and they manage to not headbang, clearly they were in attendance at that goth cowboy bar that I was talking about with Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh yeah.
And somebody's booted them in the head because there's something wrong with them. To not be able to bang your head to that song is impossible. It's just got such a good fucking swing and a groove to it.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you look at Kirk Hammett as for shredding,
yeah,
when you see Kirk Hammett, what's the first thing you think when it comes to his guitar playing? And I know a lot of people, criticise him for it, and that's his wah-wah pedals. Mm-hmm. Now, don't get me wrong, there is a lot of wah-wah.
Yeah.
But you look at any other guitarist that uses an effect. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you could say Dimebag uses like distortion and reverb and stuff like that. And that's massive. But for Kirk to play in a different sort of style with the wah-wah pedals and everything it's his signature sound. And arguable with Dimebag, it's a signature sound.
Yeah.
But for Kirk Hammett, he plays a lot more sort of sweeps.
He loves the sweeps.
He loves the sweeps. Whereas, as you said with Dimebag, it's very much about where he stops on a note. Whereas it's for Kirk Hammett, it's where's this journey going to go now? It's like a winding road. He goes from one way to another, and the hooks, the sweeps, and I think that just gives it a perfectly more rounded sound. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's a case of the fact that he is possibly iconic to a degree of. You don't have to just play like chugs.
Yeah.
He is a technical guitarist.
Oh, he's a fantastic guitarist, yeah. Steve Vai taught him, didn't he?
Yeah, Steve Vai used to teach him back in the days of, I think it was Master.
Yeah. Steve Vai won Satriani.
No, what's Satriani? Oh, actually.
It's one of the two.
It's one of the two.
Steve Vai or Satriani.
Yeah, one of the two.
Guitar, which is mental.
Oh, God, yeah. Learning from a master, essentially, But, compared to Dimebag, I can perfectly understand he has his own sound. And this is the trouble, because you've got two guitarists with their own signature sounds. So you've got Dimebag with his chugs and his stopping of the notes.
Yeah.
But you've got the more rounded sound of Kirk Hammett. And, yes, the wah-wah pedal.
Yeah.
But I think when you look at it, it comes down to a little bit of personal preference. But at the same time, I feel Kirk just gives it a song so much more power and so much more of a story element.
Yeah.
Whereas I think when you think Pantera, you just think headbang, mosh,
Well, I'm going to argue that, but yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
I get that people do that, yeah, that's fine.
But, I think, to me, he has so much more influence on a guitarist.
Okay.
I think, for me, myself...
I get that, alright, so I am going to jump in a little bit. I get that, like, Kirk's riffs, don't get me wrong, the songs that Kirk's written and the songs that come off, particularly, I mean, I know we're talking about the Black Album, Far Beyond Driven, we're not talking about the rest of their catalogues as per se. From that album, every single guitarist who's ever picked up a guitar will want to play Sandman.
Yeah. Oh,
they're going to want to play that Sandman riff. I get that, and I get that riff itself is utterly, utterly iconic.
Oh, it is.
Stylistically, I'm not sure whether it would make a huge difference, whether you'd hear a huge difference with that riff if it was Kirk playing it or if it was, Dave Mustaine playing it, if he'd stayed on.
Dave Mustaine has a different, complete guitar sound altogether. He plays so much more differently than Kirk does.
But it can be mimicked, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you can argue that for anybody. Anybody can be mimicked.
Yeah, I just think... I think that Kirk is... I mean, he's fucking phenomenal. Like, I mean... a friend of mine the other day after listening to one of our pods, he started listening. He's not a big rock or metal fan. He started going back and listening to Appetite for Destruction and Rage and stuff from what we were talking about, and he was absolutely loving it. He was like, oh my god, and he came back and he said, Sweet Child of Mine, what a song. And I was like, yeah, obviously.
Oh yeah.
And he said, name a better guitar solo than Sweet Child of Mine. And I instantly went to a Kirk Hammett song.
Yeah.
I said Fade to Black, Metallica. It's my favourite guitar solo of all time. I fucking love that. And like you said, it is a journey.
Yeah,
it winds and it adds to a song. It makes it epic.
But it's like again, going back to another one of Metallica's One.
Yeah.
The complete change of tone from the beginning of One.
Yeah.
And you get down to the breakdown, and you get down to the technical shredding of it all.
Yeah.
I think it's possibly my favourite, guitar solo ever.
Yeah. I don't get me wrong. If this was if we were just arguing technical ability, I'd have to hold my hands up and say, do you know what? Kirk's a better guitarist.
But I suppose when you come into the looking at shredding, technically you have to be brilliant at shredding. Mm-hmm. So therefore, that's why I would give the point to Kirk, because don't get me wrong, Dimebag was brilliant. Mm-hmm. But it comes back to the mimicking. I think he's more mimicable than what Kirk was.
See, and I argue the point completely opposite, because I think I think Kirk is. I'd have to, if this was just down to technical ability and that's all I based my judgment on, I'd say Kirk has this hands down.
Yeah.
Dime was a great guitarist and obviously technically a great guitarist, but straight up and down, Kirk, the riffs and the leads and the solos that man has created is just fucking mind-blowingly unbelievable. I just think as a rounded member of a band, just as a guitarist, as an iconic person, Dime is hard to beat. There's so much personality on Pantera's songs.
But again, this isn't a personality contest.
It's not, but I think a guitarist can be more than just the instrument.
Don't get me wrong, yeah.
And I think every time Dime picks up a guitar, you can hear it's Dime. You can hear Dime's personality in his riffs. And
yeah, I can understand the point you're giving on that.
Do you know something that amazed me when I was researching this? The riff that I'm Broken.
Yeah.
All right. That's a sound check. Dime he was playing that hungover as fuck, like in the recording studio, just hungover as fuck, just tinkering away, and he was just playing that as a little sound check. And Vinny and Rex just went, "Oh, that sounds quite cool," and just basically started playing over the top of it, and then that became I'm Broken. I mean, fucking.
Yeah, but then it's like any song. Like I know, going back to the fact that Metallica has the second guitarist within James Hetfield.
Yeah.
But you could say the same for Nothing Else Matters. That just started off as a tinkering over a phone.
Yeah.
With with James talking to his, I don't know if it's then or now wife, girlfriend, who it was, but at the time he was just tinkering on the phone, talking to his girlfriend, and that became the biggest possible ballad ever.
Yeah. I mean, but James wrote that.
Yeah. And
but
yeah.
But and you picked up on something actually that I noticed. Now, obviously Metallica have got two guitarists.
Yeah.
And they use them both, but they're both fucking brilliant guitarists as well.
But
I'm not gonna argue.
No, I'm not gonna argue that. But when we're coming down to the categories, and I know rhythms are part of that. That's why I've had to take this and strip it, and take them both as something completely different. Because don't get me wrong, James can shred.
Yeah, he's great.
He is much more of a rhythm guitarist than he is a shredder.
He's one of the greatest rhythm guitarists. It's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
That right hand of his is just like, it's just machine gun fast. It's just fucking epic. But the thing is, just as one guitar, Pantera have only got one guitarist, and yet Dime sounds so fat. And so his riffs sound so thick, and so fat,
and I
so
think that's
heavy.
also part of the down tuning.
Yeah, it's part of the down tuning, but it comes back to that personality and that stop start, that dun, dugga dugga. It's just, he knows how to toy with you almost, how to pull you in, push you away, pull you in, push you away.
Yeah, I get that. No, I can totally get that. Whereas I suppose with Kurt, you expect the solos and you can pinpoint when they're coming.
And solos as well. I fucking love Dime's solos. Yes, they're not technically as good as Kirk's, and as I've already said, my favourite guitar solo of all time is a Kirk Hammett solo.
Yeah.
But the squealy kind of odd... there's some really odd points in the guitaring on this album
my God, there is, yeah.
that sound like a horror movie soundtrack. It's just...
It's about to bludgeon you.
Oh yeah, these just weird little screeches and screams come out of nowhere that Dime's doing on the guitar. And he's playing that, and then he goes back into his rhythm, and he's doing both jobs all at once.
Yeah. I think stylistically, I could... Yeah, stylistically, I can give that to Dimebag.
The other point, it's my final point on Dime and as a guitarist, I think he's cooler than Kirk.
Do you know what?
I think he might be other than Slash, I think he might be the coolest fucking guitarist of all time. And Hendrix,
he's the most iconic looking guitarist.
He's so fucking cool.
It's the red beard, the long hair, constant wearing of the shorts.
Yeah, that I don't give a fuck.
Pretty much proper Texas.
Yeah,
come at me.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is.
Yeah,
but he always seemed like he was having an absolute blast.
Oh, and yeah,
like. It just seemed like a man, and you can tell that when he's playing, he plays with such a lot of emotion, and emotion is something I am going to talk about a lot, talking about this album.
Yeah.
He plays with such a lot of passion and such a lot of emotion that...
I can argue that on another point, because I know this isn't one of my other categories, but during the time of making the Black Album, I think it was 3 of them were going through divorces, I think it was.
Yeah.
Who was it? It was... Lars was going through a divorce.
Yeah.
Kirk was going through a divorce, and Newsted was going through a divorce.
Yeah.
Which gives, I think, they took it the album and made it sound so much more bluesy.
Yeah.
From the passion and the feelings of at the time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I think that does translate when you come to the down tuning and everything else. I know it came a lot from the fact that Bob Rock, who produced the album, he used to produce the likes of, I think it was like Motley Crue, and he ended up sort of saying, well, you know, take what we've done with Motley Crue, down tune your guitars, and play it, you know, from where you're feeling it. And the fact that they were going through the divorces, it's all over the track. You know, it is so much more grimier than their old stuff.
Yeah, it is. Bob Rock, Bob Rock's biggest contribution, I think, is probably slowing Metallica down a bit.
Yeah,
not in a bad way.
No,
slowing them down so that they could become massive, and they did become massive because
don't
of the
get me
Black
wrong.
Album.
I think a lot of this, sort of for the album, goes to Bob Rock.
Yeah,
because he is the one who just completely took them from somewhere completely different, and yeah, he just made them radio ready. I think. To give the band a break and say, look, you've been doing the shredding, the fast sort of thrash iconic sound for the past 4 albums. So which point from 81 to 91. So for 10 years, they were doing the fast thrash, and to take them out of their comfort zone, sit them down and say, look, we are going to slow this down. We're going to add a lot more rhythm into this. You know, I think it goes into. Kirk's playing. He, throughout this album, he is chugging, he's grooving, you know, he's got a lot of emotion in this.
Yeah.
But he still has the iconic solo sounds, you know, and then another point is the fact that, Kirk on some of these songs, like Enter Sandman, he plays a 50-second solo, and possibly one of the most well-known solos ever. Yeah. You know, arguably
it's one of the most well-known songs ever made. I mean,
well, it is. It's played in every sort of gig, every sort of stadium these days. You know,
it's one of those songs that it's played. I mean, I was sat around a friend of mine's last night, and none of them are metalheads. And it was one of those songs that they all agree, like that comes on radio. They all like, oh, I love this song.
Yeah,
they're not Metallica fans,
it's a party song.
But they go, oh, I fucking love this song.
It's a party ready song.
I get that riff. I mean, that riff from Kirk is a massive, massive part of that song.
Yeah.
I couldn't play them 5 minutes alone and get the same reaction.
No, you wouldn't.
I think they're all mental, but I couldn't. And I get that.
Yeah, and I think again it comes down to the fact that it's palatable.
Yeah.
It was very palatable for Metallica to have this song which is arguably a party song.
Yeah. I'm struggling because I'm coming at this from a kind of. I just fucking love Dimebag, to be honest.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I love Dimebag. He's an absolute, animal.
Yeah, I think it pains me to say it, but my final kind of thought on it would be that as a personality, I think Dimebag's got way more in his tank than Kirk. I'm not having a proper.
I think when you look at it, I think every album of Metallica's was different in a lot of ways for Kirk. So consistency from album to album, possibly not there. But coming to the Black Album, to then going to Load and Reload in the 90's, they're all completely different.
I just think when you watch if you watch Some Kind of Monster, you watch that, you see that actually. I know they were trying to be more fair and more equal, but actually Kirk was kind of he's a great guitarist. He's fantastic. He's peeled out some of the greatest fucking guitar solos that there will ever be. Some of the greatest riffs that there will ever be. But he kind of does what he's told, if that makes sense. He's
always been to follow.
He's with Lars and James Hetfield. Yeah. They're so big personality-wise that you can't help but...
It's essentially their band.
Yeah. Whereas Pantera is Dimebag. I mean, Pantera, there's so much... Without Dime, it's not Pantera. They're a totally different band.
Do you know what? I'm almost willing to give you the point on this.
Is that because I'm a stubborn fuck and I'll just keep going?
Yeah, well, we know that. We could sit here for hours doing this. But I think when you look at it in the sense of who is and who isn't replaceable in a band.
Yeah.
Is Kirk Hammett replaceable? Potentially so.
Potentially.
There's a lot of guitarists that are better.
I think if you took Kirk Hammett out, don't get me wrong, he is phenomenal.
He is absolutely
and the impact
phenomenal.
He's had on music in general is massive. But if you pulled him out and you put, say, Gary Holt in there, Gary Holt's a phenomenal guitarist.
Yeah.
And if he had somebody like Lars and James around him to say, look, this is what we need to do. This is what needs to happen. This is what the song requires. He could do it.
Yeah.
Maybe not quite as proficiently as Kirk, or maybe it wouldn't have as much of a Metallica flavour because Kirk is so Metallica.
He is.
He loves that band so deeply. You can tell that.
Oh yeah. Well, he's been there since day. Well, I say day dot. He came in just after Mustaine, obviously. But I think he is, in a lot of ways, the glue that held them together.
Yeah, I would agree.
He was the calm head of the camp.
I would agree that. I think he's a large part of why Metallica could continue and become as big as they are. I just think he was not the driving force, and I think Dime is the driving force of Pantera's sound. And I think you take him away, you haven't got Pantera.
No, and I agree with that. And I think again, as well as you look at him stylistically wise as a person, most notable person ever. Yeah, the guitars are most notable. The sound is noticeable. Yeah. Everything about Pantera is Dimebag.
Yeah, it's driven from Dime.
Don't get me wrong, you've got Phil Anselmo, the voice of Pantera. But when we're talking in the sense of the category for shredding, the sound, the quality of Pantera is Dimebag. Yeah. I'm always going to give you that point. I think I'm going to have to.
So 1-0.
You are 1-0.
Ole, 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 ole.
Oh. Right then. Right. Second category.
Pick 'em.
Let's go with this.
Pick a good one.
Let's go with this. Back to the hat of Slash. We have England. Nope. Lyrics.
Oh yes, yes. I'm excited for this one.
Am I? Yeah, I've got my fair share of stuff on this. Oh man. So lyrics. Again, I think going with Metallica, each song is different.
Yeah.
So different. Again, as we've touched on already, they came from the place of three of them being divorced at the time. Yeah. James Hetfield writing Nothing Else Matters, which was a love song.
Yeah, absolutely.
So imagine saying, let's do. In fact, I think it was Lars who encouraged him to do that. Yeah. So he said, let's do it. Let's just do let's just do this song that you've been tinkering with and make it epic.
Yeah.
And
James was really against it, wasn't he? James was very
so
much like, this is not a Metallica song, this is not Metallica.
No, he didn't want any part of it.
I find mental, really, because it's not like it was the first time that they dabbled with a ballad. I mean, Fade to Black, that I've already talked about. Like,
is a ballad.
That's early doors, that's second album, and that's a ballad.
Oh, big time. One, the first half of One.
I know it's a side note, but do you know Fade to Black is Axl Rose's favourite Metallica song?
Really?
Yeah.
That's mental.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I think you can argue that a lot of bands were influenced by a lot of Metallica songs. But that's a whole different category.
That's a whole different category.
If we won't go in there. But lyrics-wise, so Enter Sandman.
Yeah.
Do you know what that song was originally meant to be about?
No.
Crib death.
Fuck, that's dark.
Yeah, that was where James Hetfield was coming with it. He sat down, wanted the lyrics to come out and make it a sound about crib death.
Right.
That is dark.
Is that for any reason? Like,
I don't know.
Has he got experience in that, or?
No, what is it? I've got here. Envisioning the song as being about an infant mysteriously dying in its crib.
Right.
Hetfield was then asked by the band and their manager, via producer Bob Rock, to tone down the lyrics.
Ah,
so
that's interesting.
So there is somewhere out there possibly a demo of Enter Sandman.
Yeah.
Possibly sounding a lot darker than what it is now. Because that is, again, the biggest song they've ever written.
Yeah.
And to have a song about crib death is not radio ready.
Yeah, no, not at all. That's made me think about it quite differently, to be fair, that song, because that is one of those songs that, if opening track comes up, I'll discuss it a bit more, but it's it's so omnipresent. It's everywhere, that song.
It is everywhere. And
everyone knows that song and all the lyrics. And
and the fact that, they've turned around and said, well, let's tone this down, and then that being obviously the right thing all round.
Yeah.
Rather than having about an infant dying in its crib. A lot of people now interpret it. It's very open for interpretation, that one.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just see it as being about your fears, about dreaming and stuff, and about how limitless you are in your dreams. A lot of the Metallica songs are very open to whatever you want it to be.
Interpretation, yeah.
I mean, you look at Don't Tread on Me. That in itself was a song, taken from a saying, I think it was back in the...
Is it the Revolution or something?
Yeah, something like that.
I know it's got sort of connotations with...
So people saw that as a very sort of racial sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it never was. In fact, it was just an icon, which again comes to the album cover using the snake. That's a part of it.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Well, I think, it wouldn't make... James Hetfield is quite a conscientious person, and I know a lot of his stuff, a lot of his lyrical content and stuff comes from books and history and stuff. He's quite, he's an educated bloke.
He's very
self-educated, but he's kind of a guy that likes to unpick things and challenge.
Which kind of makes you think why he did that documentary about porn. Because he did a voiceover for a documentary about porn.
I know, bizarre.
And I think he is just a very sort of in the know guy,
Yeah, definitely.
About anything, whether that be history, politics.
Yeah, literature. I know he's a massive literature. A lot of the songs from like Ride the Lightning are from like their H.P. Lovecraft kind of like Call of Cthulhu. That's a H.P. Lovecraft thing, but he's taking it from. So. Yeah,
but going back to sort of lyrics and stuff, like Nothing Else Matters. Bob Rock thought that is a love song, it's brilliant, but he interpreted that as, let's do a love song without using the word love.
Yeah.
And it's genius when you look at it. Trust I see and I find in you.
Yeah.
That is all about love. Interpret it things how you want to. But seeing as he wrote it for his then girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, and being possibly the biggest ballad ever.
Yeah, the lyrics to that song are great, and I'll give you that they are great, and it's a fucking great song.
Oh, it is.
And I know that loads of people have attached such a lot of
feeling
to that. A friend of mine, that was his first dance at his wedding.
Do you know what?
He danced that.
When you look at it, because I always envisioned, like, have you ever had a thought of what would your song be at your own funeral?
Yeah.
I always envisioned that. But now I've gone back and actually really looked into it and go, it's a love song. Why would that be my fucking...
Oh, mine's AC/DC, Highway to Hell.
Oh,
see you later, fuckers.
See you later.
Or the Dropkick Murphys.
Right. Which one? Shipping up to Boston. Just wheeling your...
I'd just like everyone to just say fuck off and get pissed.
Well, that's it, yeah.
Like I would do.
Yeah, exactly it. Oh, gosh. But come to other songs, what... The Unforgiven it deals with the theme of a struggle of the individual against their efforts and who would be subjugate. Subjugate.
Subjugate. Yeah.
Yeah, subjugating. Yeah, no, it's a bit of
The Unforgiven is lyrically, I think it's probably my favourite of that album.
Yeah.
The Unforgiven. Because I think...
You were going to say the 90's then, weren't you?
No, it was not going to say the 90's. Not in the slightest. Deftones were about in the 90's.
Oh, gosh, yeah, that's true.
So I think that is the best... Lyrically, that's the best song on the album. And I love the whole aesthetic of it. I loved the video. I loved everything that went with it.
And here's another one. Sad But True.
Yeah.
A lot of people you can... interpret it. Again, any song's open to interpretation.
Yeah, of course.
But I think the common trend with Sad But True was about their struggles with the alcohol.
Yeah.
You know, Alcoholica as they were known.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, again, there's another song which is talked about to be about addiction.
Yeah.
The song is open into interpretation about addiction. But when you look into it and you think, well, the band had the addiction with the alcohol, I think it gives them so much personality. Yeah. And again, coming with lyrics and stuff, The Unforgiven and Nothing Else Matters was based off the lyrics of what's his name, Chris Isaak, who did Wicked Game, which was then later went on to be done by
Stone Sour.
Stone Sour done it.
Version of that, yeah.
They've done a great version, and so have him.
Yeah.
Another great version.
Of course they have. Yeah,
they've done a great version of it, and he wanted to catch the sound of, you know, how to bring an atmosphere to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and how to just concentrate on the song and make it so not dark, but just to captivate you. Yeah. And he took inspiration from Chris Isaak, and he captures that fully. I think when you sit him down, you listen to the words, and you listen to the style of how James sings. There's a lot of emotion. Yeah, I think so. And I think the whole album, in a lot of ways, is a storytelling process. Each song is a story about possibly what they've all been through. So again, coming back from, I don't know if the Crib Death had anything to do with Enter Sandman. Don't know what the background is on that. But, you know, when you look at Nothing Else Matters, a love song by James. The Unforgiven being about the struggles and stuff. Yeah. You know, and they've struggled. And then Sad But True about addiction. Each song is a lyrical sort of interpretation of their life. Yeah, do you know what? I must admit, when lyrics came out, I was going to give this a bit of a kick in, to be honest. I was going to give... Because overall, I don't think lyrics are particularly James's strong point. I think delivery is his stronger point. Delivery is a strong point, because he's got such an iconic and recognisable voice. Yeah. But actually, you've maybe changed my mind a bit on that. I think actually this is quite a personal album. I think what he's quite good at doing, things like The Unforgiven, what he's quite good at doing, now that I think about it properly, is he's very good at taking very grand concepts. Yeah. Like slavery and oppression, and things like that, and writing them about those big grand topics, or not even writing about those, using those as a metaphor for something that's actually very personal. Well, then, again, it's like when you look at One, I know this is a completely different album. One was all about a book called Annie Got a Gun. Is it Annie Got a Gun or something like that? Yeah, Annie Get Your Gun. Annie Get Your Gun. And to take a song, you know, to take that book and write it into a song and give it so much feeling. You know, again, you take it in the story of a guy who was not even paraplegic. He was much more than that. Yeah. You know, and to write it as though you're in the mind of that guy. And to give it so much feeling and so much personality, it's... Yeah.
I mean, it seems to me, I'm not a psycho, I'm not qualified to psychoanalyse people.
No.
Just caveat that. But it seems to me like actually James, his way of dealing with his own personal struggles and his own personal battles is to, obviously through music, but is to kind of mask them with a concept, with something that's bigger than himself, because you can add your own. He can add it. He kind of. I think all of his lyrics are fairly personal, but they're done through a filter. Yeah. So he's hiding behind it almost. Yeah. He's sort of saying, "Oh shit, look at this. This must be really difficult, really painful to have that feeling." Yeah. And he's standing behind that, going, "Fuck, that's what I feel like. Yeah. I'm feeling really shitty and really painful." You know. Yeah. So I think that's the sort of genius of his lyrics, really.
So who was the sort of driving force in Pantera's then with the lyrics and stuff? Was it all Al Salmo? Or?
It's It's very. This is probably up to this point. This is the most personal thing he's probably put his name to, really, up until this point. Because I know that going on, he was very hard hitting with his lyrical content and stuff. But this is intensely personal. This album, intensely personal, and I mean, being able to connect with people that I think are genuinely singing from a place of personal feelings is massively important to me. You know my feelings on silly metal.
I know your feelings on that silly lyrics.
They enrage me. Metal. So basically this album is it has a theme through it, I think, and that theme reflects what was going on for the band, or particularly for Phil at the time. And that theme is pain. It is. Yeah. I mean, obviously, things like "I'm Broken." It sounds obvious to go. Yeah. Oh, that's about pain and a painful situation. And again, the genius of the lyrics of that song is about his. I mean, he was going through chronic back pain at the time. Yeah. Obviously, he'd got to the point where the band was big enough that they were obviously making money and stuff like that, and they were very popular. Yeah. But they needed to keep going and keep persevering, and he knew that he knew that his back was fucked. Yeah. But he knew that he couldn't just stop and take time off to get it fixed.
Do you know what this reminds me of? Now, completely off subject. Yeah. Twisted Sister did the song "We're Not Gonna Take This." Yeah. And a lot of people see it as being the song against Al Gore's wife. I can't think of her name now. Silly shit that she was. Who wanted to ban a lot of heavy metal and stuff.
Oh God, yeah, I can't remember her name. The one who gave Manson a kick in and tried to get him. Betty White? Yeah. No, that's
no, it's something different.
She bakes.
No, I can't think of her name.
No, I can't. But I know.
I want to say something like Teresa Gore or something like that. So, yeah, but it's not. But she had that. We're Not Going to Take This as one of her top 6 songs that she wanted banned. Yeah. And that song's actually about dental bill. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, fair enough. It has some correlation, but so again, like you said with addiction and stuff, Phil, from interviews and stuff, basically sort of said that he started to realise that actually he's not invincible at this point. Yeah. This was his sort of time.
Then that's very similar to Metallica. Yeah. You know, talking about, their addictions and stuff like that. Oh, we aren't invincible. We're not, going to live forever. We can't just party as hard as we were. Yeah. We've got to become almost adult in a lot of ways. Yeah. We've actually got to calm it down.
Yeah, totally. I mean, at this point, Phil started self-medicating, sort of, and he started abusing painkillers to try and combat it and try and keep himself on the road. But he knew deep down that, like, his back was fucked and things were not going well. And all the way through this album, there's just so much fucking agony and there's loads of. It's a weird album because there's songs on it that are really defiant and in your face and fuck you. I'm not going to put up with this. But there are also moments of just him just opening himself up and going, fucking look at things like Good Friends and a Bottle of Pills.
What a weird song that is.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's weird. It is a weird song. I mean, he says that he was sort of in a kind of Nick Cave place, so he was really listening to some sort of slightly dark and twisted things. And you can tell, like, when you listen to it, you're like, oh, fuck. But the content of that is so raw. It's actually a true story.
Yeah.
He's talking about fucking somebody's missus and stuff like that. And it's this kind of... He doesn't... Basically, it's a story of him sort of... He betrays his friends. Betrays his friends. And then he's got this utter self-loathing. And you can tell all through the lyrics. Like you said with James. James is very good at masking or letting you know what he's feeling with this kind of behind a barrier.
Behind a concept.
Phil is just blurting it out. It is just... Bleh.
Yeah.
This is what it is. He's just spewing it onto the page and going, this is exactly how I'm feeling.
Which in a lot of ways is... I can understand. I mean, a lot of bands who did that. What's his name? Who's the guy from Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Oh, Kiedis.
Anthony Kiedis. He's... Under the Bridge for him.
Yeah.
Extremely personal song.
Yeah.
In fact, they sued... do you remember the pop band All Saints?
All Saints, yeah.
They sued them for using that song.
Did they?
Covering it, yeah, because they never asked for to do that song.
Yeah,
and for Kiedis, that was an extremely personal song.
Yeah. I don't doubt it. There's one song on this that is... It's difficult to listen to. When you listen
lyrically?
Lyrically, when you listen to it, it is difficult to listen to. That at 25 years is Phil explaining he suffered abuse from his dad when he was a kid, and it's basically him trying to deal with those feelings of impotency, like those feelings of fuck, I can't do anything about this, I haven't got the strength to do anything about it. And it starts with him really going through this process of just self-loathing and hatred about himself as a result of this stuff. Which, at the time, is so brave. This album came out the same year as Korn's first album.
And Jonathan Davis struggles with...
and Jonathan Davis has basically been credited with this kind of revolution in music, lyrically. I mean, it was...
Do you know what? I can understand that. But I think James Hetfield, in his lyrics in previous albums, already was doing that, because he's experienced a lot with his past, because his dad got up and left.
Yeah.
His mum was a very deep Christian, but to the degree of... She I can't remember what she was suffering with at the time. I can't remember.
Yeah, they wouldn't seek medical attention.
Yeah, and she didn't seek any medical attention.
Yeah.
And the fact that he had to go through the pain of watching his mum, deteriorate.
Yeah.
And I think James Hetfield was already doing that in songs.
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to the whole, as we said, he hides behind a concept.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree that he was doing that, I think. But John Davis is sort of credited with this movement, like, that went then throughout nu metal. And then, actually, you can still see it in modern metalcore when you get the kill switch and gauges and stuff, of this really direct, really to the point. And I get songs like Daddy... Like, they're horrendously personal. But actually, 25 years, but then, Phil Anselmo was already doing it. He was doing that.
Yeah.
And, this might have been the... how difficult must it have been to be... I'm sorry to keep cutting you off. But
no, it's all good.
Korn, like, their first album, they kind of have nothing to lose. Jonathan Davis comes out with this, like, he starts talking about some really deep, dark shit on that first album. Now, for Phil Anselmo, who is already somebody who's in the public eye, they're already a big band, they're already selling records. For him to then come out with an album like this, where he is talking about abuse from his dad and feeling shit and fucking his friends over as a result, and his addictions and his pain that he's gone through, that's so brave to just open himself up and go, do you know what? Like, yes, I am at this point where people are going to look and people are going to notice, but fuck it, I don't care. Because at the time, metal was very, very kind of, I know the Black Album they managed to soften things, but like and bring people round to the idea of a ballad and stuff like that. But to just bare your soul, to just bleed yourself in front of people is fucking so brave. And
but the thing is, I think it comes down to a personal sort of... It's just all, though, you take it as we said with shredding,
Yeah.
The sound of the band is Dimebag.
Yeah.
But lyrics, to try and divulge yourself from something completely different, as you know, the personality of Dimebag is all over the album. I suppose you're trying to take the context and make the lyric content and make it personal to you, because obviously it's a song that they're going to have to perform in and out. It's very brave in a lot of ways.
I think it's massively brave. I think, but what I love about this album, and from a lyrical point of view as well, like it kind of, it's not hopeless. It's very fucking dark. It's really dark.
It is
it's really
dark.
painful. Like you can tell that the guy is in bits.
Yeah.
But there's so much like defiance in Phil Anselmo.
Yeah.
That kind of stronger than all Phil Anselmo that we all come to know and love.
Yeah.
That kind of fuck off or I'll kick your teeth in. Like that is all over this album. Like 5 Minutes Alone is a song about reportedly about somebody that wanted to fight with him because apparently he'd injured their son at a gig and he was like, I want fucking 5 minutes alone with that cunt. And Phil was like the management told him to do one, but apparently that was that. But like with that song, the 25 years, and it's kind of representative of the album. It kind of goes from this really painful, really horrible kind of place, and it gets really, really dark. And then he finishes with a line, like near the end, he finishes with a line. It's quite a dark line, don't get me wrong, but he says, the ones with fathers just like you, we're fucking you right back. I'm shoving my life right down your throat.
Yeah.
Now, I know that's metaphor. I know there's some horrendous metaphor in there of sexual abuse and stuff, and I know it's horrifically painful picture that he's painting, but he's also saying to people that have suffered all sorts of shit, you don't have to, like, and this album kind of seems like his journey through accepting himself and going, I've been through some shit and I've done some really horrible things, but I don't have to let that dictate my life.
These two albums are so alike in a lot of ways because they're both dealing with sort of personal subjects. But the only difference is Anselmo is blunt and to the point about it.
Yeah.
Hetfield is behind the concept.
Yeah.
And lyrically, it's probably harder to get a concept than it is to just go, this is happening to me.
Yeah.
This is what's happened. And I think lyrically wise, to tell a story, I'd have to give to Metallica. Because with Anselmo, he is telling a story.
Yeah.
But it's too blunt and to the point.
Yeah, I to be fair, I get that. As miffed as I am about it, I do get that. I mean, thinking about it, yes. The lyrics on this album. Don't get me wrong. This album did get to a massive audience because it went to number one. It was platinum selling.
Yeah.
But Pantera didn't break new ground for rock and metal the way that Metallica did.
No.
And
no, because they'd already done that 2 albums previously with Cowboy from Hell and Vulgar Display of Power.
Yeah, but and they probably wouldn't. Like you said, this is so raw. The lyrics on this album are so raw and they're so intense and so in your face that I can get that it puts people off.
It can put a lot of people off, I think. And living behind a concept, I think, again, made it go back to the whole being radio ready.
Yeah.
Everybody can listen to it. Everybody can sing along to it. You open the song to interpretation.
Yeah.
So, but there is meaning behind these songs. You know, as much as Metallica probably won't admit that, you know, they won't tell you what the songs are about. Yeah. Because they would say, interpret as you want.
Yeah.
I think that gives it a bit more of an edge. Whereas you go...
I think it makes it much more...
I think it gives it personality to a lot of people. Because anybody can take those songs and be like, well, this song could mean this to me.
Yes.
That song could mean that to me.
Yeah.
Whereas Anselmo is, this is what happened.
Yeah.
This is what, you know, I'm feeling.
Yeah. No, I agree. On that point, to be fair, on that point, I'll have to concede that, I think what Hetfield does is he's being very personal and he is it's emotional and there is plenty of him in it, but he shrouds it in enough mystery, if you like, that like you said, anyone can interpret those songs and they can mean 100 different things. And there's something that's incredibly clever and incredibly it takes an incredible talent to be able to do that, and I think it's essentially, we're talking about the difference between a surgeon's scalpel and a sledgehammer.
Yeah,
and
essentially it.
In this case, in order to be considered lyrically better, potentially, like, I think that the precision of the scalpel is probably a better fit than the sledgehammer. Although I personally like being bludgeoned. So
no, don't get me wrong. I love hearing the personality behind a song, because like when it comes to books and stuff, I'm much more into biographies.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Than I would be on a, say, fantasy book.
Yeah, me too. Real life's way more interesting than fantasy.
And don't get me wrong, Alsalmo with the real life aspect of it is very interesting from a graphical sort of thing.
Yeah.
But when you take your feelings and make it an open interpretation to get in contact with many people.
Yeah, I agree. I think,
again, when I talked about Nothing Else Matters, it's a love song.
Yeah.
But I see it as being a song, about not essentially my life, but to have that as a funeral song.
Yeah.
Very different from being loved.
You can attach all sorts of things on it.
Yeah.
You can attach your own emotions.
And I think there's a lot more feelings
I agree.
with Metallica than there would be with, lyrically wise, of Alsalmo. Because you give this to, say, like, a 13-year-old boy, he would be fucking horrified of listening to a Pantera song talking about, I fucked this woman and
potentially,
now I feel fucking shit about it.
Yeah.
Whereas Metallica, it's very, again, radio ready, playground orientated.
It's fucking clever. It's very clever. I'll agree. I will agree with you on that point. I think.
So we're going 1-1.
1-1, yeah.
1-1. Right then, we'll get to the last category then. Back to the hat of Slash. Oh man.
Tits. I'll grab 2.
Hey,
tits. I'll grab 2.
Good pun.
Right.
Oh man.
Final. Tits on a pig.
Go on.
The final track. The final category is opening track.
Oh, I think, yeah. Go on then. What's your opening track?
Okay, so
because I think everybody's going to know the Metallica one.
Yeah, I don't think you need to introduce it. Okay, so now I think there's 2 ways to open an album.
Go on.
The best 2 ways to open an album, particularly a metal album. You can start it with a 4/4 stomper.
Yeah.
Which, in your case, Metallica's
just.
Or you can kick people's teeth down their fucking throat.
Yeah.
And I open with an absolute rager, and
I think both albums can do that.
Both albums can, but I think Pantera nailed the latter. The just full bore. It comes down to the scalpel and sledgehammer. This is a sledgehammer.
Straight to the face.
Yeah, stronger than all. Stronger than all is just. It's stronger than all, isn't it? I haven't been a complete dumbass.
Let's hope not. By the way, the Metallica
strength beyond strength. Sorry.
Just in case you guys haven't actually listened to Metallica's Black Album, which, listening to this podcast, I hope you fucking have.
I'd be surprised if you haven't.
The opening track would be Enter Sandman. Biggest track possibly in the metal industry ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, go on. I'll let you argue because.
So strength beyond all.
Yeah.
It is a kick in the teeth. It is a boot in the face, which I love. I love an album starting like that.
Don't get me wrong, I love that. You want to be hit hard and fast.
Yeah.
The
biggest quality of this album, of this song, in the context of this album, is the fact that it's a war cry. This song. This is a war cry.
Yeah, it is.
It's a statement of intent. This album, this song, so it goes from absolutely blistering pace to this horribly dirty, sludgy chugging.
Yeah.
Right, and they do that and vocally it sets.
Don't get me wrong. I think that Enter Sandman is also a chuggy of a song.
I'm not going to argue that point. I wouldn't argue that it wasn't chuggy. I think with this song, so vocally this sets the tone for the album.
Yeah.
And this is the tone for this. This is a disclaimer. basically. When you've listened to the whole album and then you go back and you listen again, you think, fucking hell, actually, like, this song is a disclaimer. Phil Anselmo is basically, it seems to me like he's saying, yes, this album is going to get dark. It's going to get really fucking bleak, and like, it's kind of going, we're all going to feel shitty at some point in our lives.
Yeah.
Everyone feels shite at some point, but don't let people fuck you about.
Yeah.
This is kind of it's a warning to you that, yeah, this album's going to get real gritty and real horrible, but if you don't want people to fuck you over, then don't let them.
Just in case you don't realise, I'm actually trying to listen to the song, so it's not on the mic for licensing reasons.
I see.
But,
so, and as you are listening to the song, you can see the album cover, and I know it's not a category, but there are parts of this, like, obviously the album cover's got somebody's head being drilled.
Yeah.
There's a drill bit, which I think fits with that theme of pain that goes through this album.
I won't go into the other category, but obviously with Metallica they didn't want that on an album.
Yeah.
So because everybody was doing it.
Yeah. But this goes with I've got a cracking little fact about the thingy that I'll tell you in a bit.
Yeah.
So this it fits with the theme of this album. Like, and this opening track, there is a breakdown in the middle of it, or near the end of it, where it goes from this absolute chugging rager, and just before it kicks back into the pace, it goes full horror movie sinister.
Yeah.
There is weird squawky guitar tones from Daryl.
And I think that, you know, in an opening track, if you can turn around and go, this is what we're offering you, there's so many different concepts and so many layers, you know, it wants you to listen on.
Yeah.
It really does.
And I think it's a genius. I think the art of being able to tie your concept or the themes of your album and your artwork and your opening track into one little bubble where you go, this is the journey. It's kind of like you know how Shakespeare he starts a lot of his plays by telling you exactly what's going to happen. He says, this is what's going to happen. They're both going to fucking die because they're idiots. Like, you know, that's what Pantera have done here. They've gone, actually, this is the story of this album, and this is what you're going to experience. This is the roller coaster.
Yeah.
It's going to be blunt. It's going to be to the point. You're going to feel fucking great at times because you're going to feel empowered and strong and ready for stuff. You're also going to feel like you're being stalked, and you're going to go to some really dark, horrible, dingy places in your mind and in your soul. And then at the end of it, you're going to come out going, fuck you!
Okay, and I'm going to argue this with Metallica because they do the same. Going from, you know, being such a great, groovy sort of the melody of the song, most iconic possible song ever.
It's certainly got the most iconic opener.
When you go to the bit in the middle where they're talking, the old man and the boy, you know, doing his prayer before bed.
Yeah.
As I lay you down to sleep, you know, that is sinister. That has such a sinister edge to it.
Yeah. I don't know whether or not I've made it more sinister in my head. But the fact that the video goes along and there's that weird, creepy old bastard.
Yeah.
While Hetfield's talking.
Again, it
makes it
dreams,
so much creepier,
Yeah. And I think when you take the fact that the concept of the original was about crib death.
Yeah.
You could almost get to the point of, did that boy die in his sleep? The dreams he was having of being chased by the lorry and stuff like that. Toning it down, was it still about, in a lot of ways, death? Enter Sandman.
Yeah.
About your dreams, you know. Or was that old guy the young boy from, you know, in the dream?
Yeah.
In the beforehand. It's difficult because both songs of it, you know, Pantera, don't get me wrong, I think have a more sinister edge to them, you know, in the sense of it is just,
it's the serial killer versus it's Hannibal Lecter versus
I see it as Hitman
like the Texas
versus
Chainsaw Massacre. Hannibal Lecter's gonna wine and dine you and sit you down and make you feel comfortable and pour you a glass of wine, and then he's gonna drug you, cut the top of your head off and start eating your brains. Whereas Pantera, the Leatherface, they are going to chase you around and chop you to pieces and hang you on a meat hook.
Yeah.
And
And that's where it comes. I think, honestly, like, You've got a serious thing for serial killers.
I do. I'm fascinated by them. I am fascinated by them.
No, don't be going wrong. It's a brilliant subject to follow. But yeah, no, it's just I think with Metallica, in the sense of it's become an anthem.
Yeah.
Possibly the biggest influence song ever.
Yeah.
So many bands have covered that song.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think, you know, any sort of... I don't think anything bad of the Pantera song, but when you come in as an influence, as a, you know, known song, it will forever go to Metallica.
Enter Sandman alone is
and I think
the biggest. It's the biggest metal track. It's the biggest metal song ever made. It is fucking massive. So don't get me wrong. Like, I don't think it's the best metal song ever made. I don't think it's the most interesting metal song ever made.
No, I think there's many.
I don't think it's the best Metallica track, but
true.
But I get that as an opening track,
it entices you in and makes you want to go on, and to lead on to Sad But True.
Yeah. Well, it's a fucking anthem, innit?
It is an absolute
at the end of the
anthem.
day, Strength Beyond All, it is an absolute rager. It is a rager. Do I think that it's a fucking genius track? I love the way it fits with the album. I love the themes of it, and I love the way it kind of tells you the story. Has another band done that? Yeah, they have.
They have.
Like
any prog band.
Well, I mean, you know, you've only got to look at. I'm trying to think. Okay, so Slipknot, you know, they've got some opening tracks that are the fucking rages. Like Trivium have you know, released album. Lots of people have. I mean, one of my favourite at the minute, like as an opening track, Code Orange. Forever on Code Orange. I fucking love that. What a song!
What a song!
And it kind of fits with. It tells you everything you're gonna. It gives you a real flavour of that album. It says. Like Strength Beyond All does, it goes, yeah, we're going to go real fucking hard, and then we're going to go real weird, and then we're going to go real fucking hard again.
Metallica, it's not the hardest song on the album.
No.
You know, but it's still a song that entices you in because it's
massive.
It is massive. You know, and I think...
It is a manthem. It's a massive anthem. It's a manthem.
I made that up on the spot. And I'm going to take that. But no, it's... I can't, you know, this is such a difficult one because I could just go on forever and ever and ever and say Metallica, Enter Sandman, biggest song ever, opening track to an album. I think in a lot of ways you could say it's gonna win hands down every time, but with the point of, you know, the different wines in the Pantera's opening track and the flavour it gives, to me, makes it sound very sort of like a one-trick pony. Mm-hmm. It's difficult.
I think...
You know, I'm so split in the head on this one because...
I think, don't get me wrong, if I was going to listen to... And I think this doesn't reflect actually on the quality of the songs, but if I was going to pick one to listen to on my way home, I'm going to listen to the Pantera one, not Enter Sandman.
Do you know what?
That isn't because Enter Sandman isn't phenomenal. It's just because I've heard it so much, because it is so omnipresent.
It is.
But if I was at a gig and we're waiting for the headline act to come on, and I've had a few beers and Enter Sandman comes on, I am losing my shit.
Oh God, yeah.
You know,
and so in a lot of ways, I think when you look at it as an opening track, just the grounds of Enter Sandman is forever going to... I don't know if you're still trying to... You know, with Pantera, and I think you could argue for days about any song on any opening track on an album.
I'll be honest with you. This is... I think I tried to make the best argument I could for the Pantera track, but I think this was the category that I was like, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter what I've done. Like,
I know, because it's the fact that it is Metallica. It is the biggest song they've ever written. Yeah, it's the most notable. It's on the radios. It's on the TV. It's on everything.
Yeah, it is. It is just all over the place. And do you know what? Yes, it's been overplayed.
Yeah, but then so Sweet Child of Mine.
Oh yeah, it has been overplayed. But Fucking hell. It's had, on Spotify, it's had 224,800,988 listens.
And I've got... Hold on, I think I've got the Pantera one here.
Which is insane.
Okay, it doesn't even break their top 5. That song doesn't.
That doesn't surprise me. Really, it's not.
No, it's not. To me, I don't think it's.
It's not an iconic. It's not. It's not the most iconic Pantera track. You know.
No, it's not by far.
And on that basis alone, you've got great track by Pantera. Great opening track, one that fits perfectly with the album.
Yeah.
Or you've got the biggest metal song that's ever been written.
It's not even in their top 10.
Yeah. Or you got the biggest metal song that's ever been written. There's no competition. Like,
I think the closest on that album is I'm Broken with 23 million plays. That one.
To use a Pantera song as a pun, I think that Metallica have walked away with this.
No. And I can't even think of it. I am not going to even fill that in, but it is sad but true.
Yeah, nothing else matters now. They've won.
They've won this.
Fuckers.
2-1. So best metal album of the 90s just via this. So we're going to go with Metallica's Black Album. But let's go back to some of the other categories because there are some interesting points.
There's some great points on some of the other categories.
There are. Yeah. I mean, artwork alone. For that album, Lars hated... Like, he was going through a magazine at the time. He was going through all the metal albums and going, they all look the same. There's blood, there's guts, there's gore, there's everything on these albums. And he was like, well, we all like black, don't we? So let's just do that.
Yeah.
The whole concept of the snake, on the other hand... Yeah. I'm not too sure on that one. Why just the snake? I don't know if he is very left-wing or what it is. Yeah. But there was also an absolute brilliant interview on YouTube, if you can find it. It's Kirk and Lars talking to Spinal Tap. Yeah. Because Spinal Tap done Smell the Glove, and that was just a pitch black album cover. Nothing on it, no nothing. And they were saying, no, we've got a problem with you, Metallica. Like, all light-hearted as they are. Why did you steal our album cover? Yeah. Essentially it. And in that moment, Kirk was like, we're paying homage to you. We're paying homage to Spinal Tap through the Black Album.
That's brilliant. Well, I mean...
Go on.
For this album, it's probably not even the most iconic Pantera album cover, to be fair. Vulgar display of power, mate, you get punched in the mush. Yeah. That's one of the most metal things that anyone's ever put on the fucking front of a metal album.
Oh gosh, yeah.
But the guy with the drill through his head wasn't the original concept for this album.
Was it not?
No, it was actually somebody bent over with a drill up their anus.
So that's just like the Metallica album cover for was it Metal Up Your Ass? Yeah. Which was a toilet with somebody holding a dagger.
Oh, yeah, but this was a proper photo of an ass with what looks like a drill bit being jammed up it. Which, I'll be honest with you, I think wouldn't have worked nearly as well, because I think if, like you said...
But there was already a hole there.
The thing is, Lars pointed out that... I mean, I'm going to agree with Lars Ulrich for it.
Yeah.
Like, he pointed out that actually everyone was doing that. Yeah. And actually, if Pantera had done the same thing and they'd done it just puts it in the same category as an album from, and I'm not dissing them because they're
no,
like Cannibal Corpse and things like that.
Oh gosh, yeah.
That are much more jovial. It's like, look at all the blood and guts. Look how cool this is, but doesn't fit the album. This album's intensely personal and intensely difficult to listen to.
But if you to break it down into a concept, is the head, the skull, is that Phil Anselmo saying, I am burying and going into my head. Yeah. And I am like pulling out all this, what has been burning at me for years.
That's a great shout. That's a great call. I think you could definitely argue that there's that layer to it. Whether it's intentional or not, I think knowing the album, you could definitely do that.
Yeah, and I think that goes for a lot of albums. You can take an artwork and make a concept of stuff. Yeah. But going back to some other facts, Metallica, it's like for album sales... So I've got both album sales that are actually recorded sold to what has been claimed sold. Yeah. So Metallica have apparently not just within the actual records that are known sold, but there's apparently what they claim to be 30 million albums.
For the Black Album.
For the Black Album. recorded sales 21.2, which I think not quite tops. Only one band have got only slightly higher recorded sold, and that's Appetite for Destruction.
Oh, really?
21.6.
Fucking hell.
So only 0.4 difference of 400,000 more.
Yeah.
But the other, when you look at this, in the fact that the album has sold, what we've got here, Dangerous by Michael Jackson, that sold, again, it's in the 30 million category, but only recorded 16.3 in the same year. And Metallica have topped that.
Yeah, that's a massive win for
It
metal.
is. But then you've got the Beatles' Abbey Road, 14.4 sold, again claimed to be 30. So all of these albums, I'm saying, are claimed to have sold over 30 million.
Yeah.
Which I believe makes it something like, I think you only have to get 1 million to be a platinum.
Yeah.
Something like that. So Bruce Springsteen, born in the USA, 19.6. Dire Straits, Brothers in Arms, 17.7. Another two sort of massive rock bands. Nirvana, Nevermind, 16.7. Pink Floyd, The Wall, 17.6. You've outsold all those albums.
Yeah, that's mental.
It's mental. And to claim is to be a heavy metal band. You know, Nirvana were only a grunge band. Although that's arguable because a lot of people I know
grunge is so fucking weird and wonderful. Like,
it is. It's brilliant.
Grunge is, yeah.
I'll tell you what. Should we do that for the next Headbanger?
Headbanger. What, grunge album? Best grunge album?
Best grunge?
That'd be good.
Yeah?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Not to say that we weren't singing a lot of Chris Cornell on the way back from the Milk Teeth gig. I'm only saying Chris Cornell. I ain't saying what bands or anything. But yeah. No, I think we'll do that then.
Yeah, cool.
Next one, grunge.
Grand.
There's a lot of shouts in that.
Yes. Yeah, that sounds good.
So, well, I hope you've enjoyed this.
No, because I've lost, so I'm devastated.
But the viewers listening to this,
yeah,
I call you viewers. You're not really viewing anything but a
you
picture
can look
of
at
us.
the screen. Whatever you're looking at.
Whatever you're looking at.
Good for you.
But again, this has been a wonderful experience.
Yeah, it's been good fun.
It's been good fun, and we'll do this again soon. But anything else you want to add?
No, not really. Just I don't want to lose again.
Gonna have to pull out for grunge. So yeah, no, subscribe onto the Facebook page. Just give us a like, you know, give us a follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You know, give us a follow. Support our metal.
Yeah.
You know, and we will catch you guys soon.
Take it steady.
Later on.